And he obviously doesn't respond to it very positively all the time. He will insist, and that's what children do. They cannot really adequately reason and say, oh yeah, okay, it'd be selfish of me to deny mommy of her shower. Poor daddy won't have dinner to eat if mommy doesn't go cook. So yes, please go ahead, mommy, please go and cook. I'll let daddy read story to me. They don't function that way, no. So they tend to put up a fight, right? Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Experimental Parent with me, Jasmine. This week I'm going to talk about the preferred caregiver phase. So for those of us who had toddlers would probably understand that somehow there comes a point in their life that they just have a preference for one parent or one caregiver. And when that happens for mommies or just for parents at large, I think it can feel very hurtful the first time it happens to you, and you just wonder, why? What did I do or what did I not do? I've always been there for you. Why would you do this to me, right? And this is somewhat linked to one episode that I did on mom guilt, and that kind of behavior from my children makes me it affirms that mom guilt. It makes me feel even more guilty, and it's like, oh, it's because I didn't spend enough time with you. So this is you getting back at me. This is you not wanting to be close to me anymore, not wanting to spend time with me anymore. So every child seems to have that. And only after your child has gone through it, most of the time, or you hear it from parents, your friends, that it's quite normal for children to go through that. Nonetheless, that preferred parent or preferred caregiver phase can be a little bit challenging to deal with, at least for me. My older son was going through that, not so much now, but maybe about a year ago when he was 2 years old, 2 plus, where certain times he would only want daddy, or certain times he would be very clingy to me. So for me, how I dealt with it and how I learned to deal with this caregiver phase, and especially so for parents out there who you're going through it right now, and it's especially tiring for that preferred parent. If let's say I'm the preferred parent now, like mommy is the preferred parent, and my child wouldn't want daddy to do anything for him or her at all. So mommy's in charge of everything. Mommy's the one brushing the teeth, feeding the kid, showering, putting to sleep, and if there are middle of the night wakings and cryings, mommy is the only person that that child wants. It's very tiring for that parent. So the other parent may or may not feel that this is a problem, because there are times where you're like, okay, I get a relief, right? This is not I'm not rostered for this month, I never kena the duty this time. So there are all sorts of thoughts that come in when the child is going through something like this. When my older child preferred only me, and I had to do everything all the time, my husband did try to come in and say, okay, today it's daddy who's going to read story. Mommy needs to go shower, mommy needs to go to prepare dinner, and so on. Reasons why mommy cannot be the one doing that. And he obviously doesn't respond to it very positively all the time. He will insist, and that's what children do. They cannot really adequately reason and say, oh yeah, okay, it'd be selfish of me to deny mommy of her shower. Poor daddy won't have dinner to eat if mommy doesn't go cook. So yes, please go ahead, mommy, please go and cook. I'll let daddy read story to me. They don't function that way, no. So they tend to put up a fight, right? They will demand that, no, I want mommy without any reason. I don't care. I just want mommy. I just want mommy. I just want mommy. So at times like this, it would be futile to just say, no, you can't have mommy because mommy needs to do this. No, you can't have mommy because needs to do that. I go back again to the very first episode when I talk about amygdala hijack, where children tend to react more to their feelings rather than use their logical part of the brain because that's still developing. Yeah, so in the case also, this is the same thing. They're not going to use the logical part of the brain to reason why they should not let the preferred caregiver do all the bedtime routine and so on. So you need to target from the angle of feelings. It's always all about feelings, right? So it's validating how they feel. So in the situation, if let's say, preferred caregiver today is me, and I have to go and shower, or I have to prepare dinner, daddy can approach the child saying, okay, daddy, I know you really want mommy to read story. I know. I want mommy too, So first of all, while you're doing that, it's first of all, you're validating his feelings about how he prefers mommy, because he loves mommy and he feels mommy. He feels for mommy. So you're saying, okay, I acknowledge. I get that, by repeating it, echoing what he's saying. So he said, I want mommy. I know you want mommy. I want mommy too. So that's echoing it. And I will go into an episode where I deep dive into this echoing thing, how it's a technique of dealing with tantrums, dealing with incessant demands from children, right? So for now, I'll just leave it as that, validate it. So repeat it, echo it, and say, I want mommy too. Mommy's really fun to be with, right? Mommy reads the best stories. So there you are, you're also supporting his or her feelings that, yeah, that's why I want mommy, because mommy does this for me. So daddy suggesting all these things is also validating and supporting why he feels the way he feels. So now you're helping him make sense of what he's feeling already, right? You want mommy to do this because mommy can read a fun story, because mommy will always give you a hug after she reads the storybook. So after you're done with validating the feelings, you are kind of getting your child to simmer down from that amygdala hijack. Your child is simmered down from the whole big feelings explosion state. He or she is kind of in a calmer state to now hear your reasoning for why mommy is unable to do story today. So the next thing you can tell your child is that, okay, I know you really love mommy to read a story. I love when mommy reads a story too. What is it about mommy's reading that you like? What is it about the story that you heard that day that you like? Oh, was it the one about the bear and the bird? Oh, that was a funny story, right? What you're doing here is, first of all, you are diverting. You are distracting the child from that state of mind where he's so absorbed with like, I want mommy and no one else can do a story as good as mommy does. So that's all he's absorbed in, until you kind of bring him or her out of that situation and distract with something else that they'd be interested in. Like that story that mommy read that day, right? That story about the bird and the bear. Can you tell me what it was about? Then your child would likely be like, oh, okay, I want to tell this story about the bird and the bear. And he's slowly diverting and being distracted from that issue that is causing him or her so much frustration, which is demanding mommy and mommy not being able to come in for story time at that point in time. Second thing you're doing is that you're engaging the logical mind. I keep talking about the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala, and how you need to proactively get the prefrontal cortex to go to motion again. That is what you're doing. When you're getting your child to recount something, to recall something, the prefrontal cortex needs to kick into action. And when it does that, it's regaining control over the amygdala. So you're more likely to get a logical, tame, contained response rather than a reaction from the child. Third thing that you're doing there is you are getting insights. You are not just asking for the sake of asking, like, oh, what is it about mommy's story that was so fun? Oh, okay, I don't care. No, right? The insights that your children are sharing with you about what they loved about the story are the same things that you can do for them when you are doing story time. So for example, your child will say, yeah, mommy make the bird sound so funny. Mommy will make the bird go tweet, 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 and I really love that. Oh, okay, so that is your insight to say, okay, oh, you like it when mommy makes the tweet, 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 tweet sound? Is it how it goes? The tweet, 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 tweet sound? So you're doing it now. You're repeating the same actions that are jolting very happy, positive memories for them when mommy read the story for them, right? So now daddy is doing it also in that same manner, or at least in daddy's kind of style, and it makes the child giggle and it makes the child happy also. And then after you have started to kind of got the attention of another topic, and you have started to be able to give them some reasons on why you're doing story time today, you can lead into that and say, oh, the tweet bird, okay, how about today we read the bird and the bear book? Or how about daddy has a funny one? Daddy has the book about the monkey, the 5 little monkeys, remember? Okay, daddy can show you how to make the monkey sound in a very funny way too. When you do that, your child is more likely to, oh, okay, this is something new, but this sounds like fun too. I think I can work with this alternative today. Your child is also more inclined to say yes because they are curious about how you're going to make the funny sound. So you have successfully distracted them and you have offered an alternative that they are willing to accept. Okay, if your child is okay with this alternative, you don't want to just kind of like tuck everything else under the rug and pretend that we all forgot that we wanted mommy, right? So after you go into the story and you read it and you have a lot of fun with your child, remember to also tell them good night, I love you, right? And thank you for letting daddy read story to you tonight. Okay, and if the child still is, kind of harping on no, but after this I want mommy to read me a book, then in this state of mind, when your child's already calmer, it's the right time for you to say, okay, I know that, yes, and after daddy reads the book, it's 8 o'clock and it's time for us to go to bed. Okay, what mommy can do is she can come and say good morning to you tomorrow. Okay, she will be the one to open the windows and say good morning. Or you can say, oh, okay, tomorrow mommy promises that she will read you a book. Or you can even offer a middle ground and say, okay, mommy can't read you a book, but later on when mommy is done, she will come in to tell you good night and she will give you a big hug. So you can meet somewhere in the middle. It's kind of like your middle ground and you're offering an alternative and you're letting your child know that it's not the end. It's not that you can't get mommy today, you will never get her. Tomorrow you can look forward to mommy coming to read a book to you. Okay, so you're not closing all doors to this. You're offering an alternative. You're helping your child to look forward to the next time mommy can be there again. And that's kind of like a sequence to how you can, first of all, tame the child, calm the child down, not by telling them to calm down. Please, that's the worst thing you can tell a child who is angry. That's the worst thing you can tell anybody who is angry. Okay, so please don't do that. But here are some ways, like I mentioned to you, that you can first slowly simmer it down and then offer the alternative and try to distract and do something that they would be okay with. And they'll still be happy with that alternative. And last of all, I just wanted to leave you with this. The preferred caregiver phase is just a phase, right? And our children will go through these phases many times as they grow up. That too, they'll prefer to have a certain relative to talk to more often. They will have a preferred parent, they'll prefer their friends as they grow up. So it's going to happen. And while we can't avoid it, the key is to keep communication channels open. And by open, I mean more listening to what your children are going through and approaching things from their perspective rather than not just about how you are feeling about it, what should be done about it, what should be the right way, but more why they're acting the way they're acting, how they're feeling, and approaching from a perspective of, okay, I validate how you feel. Let's try to work things out from there.
Thanks for tuning in to the Experimental Parent. Remember, we are all in this together. So if you have a story, topic suggestion, or feedback you'd like to share, we'd love to hear from you. You can DM me on the show's Instagram, The Experimental Parent, or leave a comment here. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like or subscribe so you never miss out on future episodes. Your support means the world to us. So let us know, how was your experiment today?